5th, Wednesday, and Ryan is here with his Wisdom of Channel. And today we're going to be talking about the law of vibration and energy. And what I mean by talking about it is that we're going to open up to that information and see what we get. So Rick's going to start.
Greetings, and how are we today?
Great.
Good.
Thank you for coming down.
The law of vibration and energy, is that the topic?
Yes, it is.
That
Sure
is.
does. Thank you.
Energy and vibration are on similar wavelengths, but not quite the same. They are energy patterns. They are waves of energy. It comes in different forms, as well as energy itself comes in many different types of facets and forms. They come together in certain ways, like you see light as energy, and yet light is in a wave pattern form as well. And light has subtlety to being able to bend and travel great distances. And you are finding out more about light and the energy that the light has within itself. Each photon has within itself. It is very actually powerful what light has in store. Now there's many terms that we use light in very loosely with, and it's with the subject matter of enlightenment, with wisdom that you carry throughout your day, into your lives, into your walk, into your path. The vibrations that you are creates much of the reality. The energy forms and creates itself around your vibration. These vibrations come in many different tones that you are putting out. These are mixed feelings, belief systems that you are portraying. Before you open your eyes, it is the feeling that preludes itself. It is before you take that step on your path, you are sending this energy, a constant flow of this energy out. And it is changing the energy that is around you. Yes, energy and vibration are very similar. Is there a further question that is particularly on this matter?
Yes, if we know that they're similar, and we know that vibration sets the tone for energy. We know too that there are certain emotions, experiences that can change vibration. Is that true? Can vibration be influenced by something that will change the energy or bring energy in? Can we create a vibration that will draw energy in, cosmic energy, universal energy?
Absolutely, yes, yes. And this is exactly what we are talking about. Yes, you understand many of these forms already, that you bring in and you harmonize yourself with each other in a room, per se, and you are harmonizing your energy with all the beings there. And that's why you can also have a friction or a personality play, as some might say, a friction that is there that you don't quite understand, because there is different vibrations being put off at all times. And these vibrations are setting the tone of energy that is happening. And you understand much of this already. So vibration can influence and can attract different types of energetics towards your life, towards your being, into every moment. It is finding your center in a way before you act. And that will support much of your reality of what it is that's going to happen when the moment applies itself, because you have set a vibrationary way of looking at it, and it is changing, organizing the energy in what you expect to see. And it is you that is organizing this. It's not very complicated. We are trying to make this a very uncomplicated way of looking at vibration and energy. It is very similar. These are just forms of waves, forms of itself, forms of other words that are in similar conjuncture of what it is that you are doing with your life. Many of you are very comfortable with energy and what it does. You have, in many ways, used it for your cooking and your appliances. And there are many facets of this energy. In many ways, this energy can be harnessed and used. And much of that is being grounded now, and has been grounded in past times where energy was very easily, very accessible. And it is something that as humanity is gathering itself together in this understanding and the acceptance of, for instance, free energy, that it will be grounded in such ways. But right now, it is not quite this way. For other things have been kind of stepped aside, sidestepped, if you will, so that free energy ways are not so there. Even though they have been around for many decades and has been present and has been created and recreated in many different forms, there are people that are trying to slow this progress down, and it is something that will come about in due time.
Could you talk about that a little bit more, about the free energy, and it will change the structure of how we live? That change, do we need to change the way that we work out of capitalism or create a socialism?
It is not so much a capitalism or socialism sort of problem as much as it is a problem that it is in the hands of a few people with great power. And it is only this great power that they hold because they hold it through what humanity says they can and cannot do. If this was not something that was accepted anymore, these systems would begin to change very rapidly. It is the people that truly make the decisions on much of these things, although they feel like they are powerless to some of this. And yet you have very reliable vehicles in many ways that get you to and from things, but they are tapped still with energy payments. And it can be changed. Yes, you know that these changes are available. It can be transmuted in many different forms. It has been grounded in many few different ways. There are magnetic energies that haven't even been tapped into that are in this realm that is available to you now. There are certain harmonic resonancies that are there. A grid, a 90-degree grid that you are all connected to, that there is energy there, and yes, energy in light photons, which you are understanding on smaller scales, but have much more potentials. It is not necessarily grounded because the consciousness is also not quite there yet. it has been accepted in these forms of gasoline, in the oil products that you use, and also the forms of which electricity is being created in, that you have it tapped in this sort of way, that it is structured so that it is more like a linear thing. It is only being created in a certain fashion, in a way that is being sold.
Is it our belief system that needs to change? Because at one time we didn't believe we could get electricity from A to B, from the source to a house.
When electricity was being formed, during this time, there was one Nikola Tesla that was creating its own energy, that was trying to create a more freely used energy, although it was somewhat dangerous in also the ways that he could use these energies. He was not actually grounding all the information that he could have possibly grounded to make it entirely a dangerous part of what humanity could be, but it had a potential. A new potential was that you could have free energy. Now, it has been manipulated over time, and it has been recreated in other forms, not just by him, but by many, and by others. And they have been, in some ways, taken over by certain cabals that do not want free energy, for instance. It's a very powerful thing to own energy, because you now have something that everyone would like to use and be a part of. But these forms can be changed, yes, by the consciousness, by the way you are looking at things, by the way that the mass society looks at all these things. And it is not just through just changing consciousness, it is by changing the actual structures and systems that they exist in. And some of the power structures that are over these sort of things are slowly taking a new life, but not a great step at all, as we would see at this point. But the potential is still there, and humanity is already walking towards this. This is a natural form for all beings to have a much easier life. It is all going to start happening at a much quicker pace than they can keep the control with the systems the way they are.
So, by creating a field of possibility, and then sending your energy, your thought system into that field, not necessarily doing something, not recreating something that's already been done, but seeing the possibility of something else happen, creates the vibration to change the field that is already set, like something that's already structured, say free energy, since that's what we're talking about, versus the energy, manipulative, corporate energy.
That would be a good start. Yes, it would create the energy changes that you would want to start to see. Now, it would be, again, very small. Again, it is something that other people recognize, especially in third world countries where they are struggling with certain aspects of electricity. For instance, gasoline prices are much higher there as well. And so there is an influx of not an equal world. And as they see this inequality, this playing out in front of them, they are already naturally drawn to want these things to be changed at a much more rapid pace. And it is something that is happening in the backgrounds of many different projects right now as we speak, that there are new energy forms that are being recreated that are energy free. But setting those sort of vibrations out, yes, can have an influence. It is only the start. And these things are going to happen. They're going to change over time. You will begin to see much more of this in your near future. There are so many different forms, but it is only what humanity can accept and bring about in this particular realm. And it is going to be how it is done here. It is going to be what you guys are going to decide. Not particularly in this one room, but in the whole mass consciousness of humanity.
What form of energy do you use for your technology?
We use many forms of electricity as you do, but also we have harmonic resonances within certain ways and wave patterns. They can also be a storing of many different energies. And things happen at a much more rapid pace here, that it is not quite the same form or forms as you would have on your particular area of where you are in. In many ways, it is more freely used. It is more accepted and understood throughout the cosmos of what can be manipulated, and through the different structures of energies that are there and available. And it is different with each particular aspects that are there. Different races of beings, for instance, that are there. All using a different or same energy. And these are mostly free energies, or energies that are natural occurrences that are being tapped into.
So you're not using oil or coal?
Not in the quite same forms as you would.
How much of your energy coincides or works with magnetics or liquid magnetics?
Many of our energies are worked with magnetics. It is much of the spinning of this energy that we use. Magnetics are a natural occurrence that you cannot quite sense as much as you are understanding. You are understanding more and more about the magnetics, and as you are flipping the poles, there are energies that are being created by those things. You are understanding some of the energy patterns that are created through magnetics, but there are natural free energy within magnetic itself. These things are not quite fully understood, mostly because man would use these things to help destroy itself faster, but it is not so much the case now.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'll give them all the answers.
So with the magnetics, is that a more pure way of utilizing the cosmic energy we have access to?
We wouldn't say it is a better way, for there are many multiple ways to harness energies, and it is depending on what it is you are wanting to use the energies for. You can use energies for resonating, and that would be something that if you were to cross great distances, harmonic resonances would be another form of energies that's not even quite understood in a certain way.
A Merkaba?
Oh, we heard, but the keeper is very confused. He's not very familiar with much of this.
Merkaba is a term used to describe a vessel. Sometimes it's used to describe the vessel of the human body in a certain configuration.
You are energy, yes.
Right. And if you configure that energy in a certain way, as I understand it, you create a light body that you can travel with.
You have this ability already. All of you, each of you here, have this ability to travel an astral plane. Yes, a new plane of existence that you are tapping into just more on a subconscious, unconscious level. You are all light bodies. You are all energy forms, yes, harnessed with this form of energy that keeps you in this pattern of way of looking at things as being a solid, as your body being a solid. These walls are not solid at all. They are energy. Where are you exactly? You are on a planet, and where is that? And we think it is funny that you have up and down. You are many, multiple, different forms of energy. And part of your energy is being held in this body form. And yes, a whole nother part of you is in another whole nother body form. And what is happening so differently on this planet that has not been happening throughout the cosmos, although there has been great times of ascensions and things of that sort, is you are holding this energy within these body forms. This has not been done. Usually there has been a great catastrophe beforehand, and then these forms of these templates that you hold change drastically. What humanity is doing now is they are changing with the templates. It has not been done before. It is being very much written down how you are accomplishing this. For you are doing this at a very fast pace, and we are very well interested in how you are doing this without being that light body that you are. That you can be tapped into the Merkaba, because that is what has happened on so many other levels on other planets. It has always been that you change into these more lighter forms in these other lighter physical bodies. And now you each are changing, and humanity is taking a step into ascension, becoming naturally more filled with intelligence, with an inner knowing what is going to happen, an inner flow of grace that applies within itself, within its life. And you are taking this in these templates, these bodies, which is quite amazing to us.
So is this a phenomenon taking place because of a vibration being created?
It is your vibration that it is being created. It is only through your vibration that we have ever seen such a thing. It was expected by most all of us that it was going to be that you would have a very much a chaotic moment. And still, yes, chaos is going to continue and ensue even through ascension. But these things are happening on a much smaller scale. As you are moving very rapidly through these energy and energetic times, as this great shift of energy is going to be made through the planet, you are doing this in these templates through your own bandwidth of vibrations.
So is that an ability that some of those that are in solid body are being able to ground the energies?
Yes.
Or keep the...
That's exactly it.
Can I ask you, I don't know if this request can be honored, but can you look to the consciousness of the Earth Mother for a moment and ask her if she can shed a little light on this transition, not necessarily as a traditional ascension, but as something outside of that, something different than the normal mode of ascension.
I would ask you, are you in this moment or that moment? For there are many ages of time. Earth has been rolling through the cosmos for quite some time, and you are marking different time and ages.
This moment, right now.
This moment, right now. What would you like to know of this moment?
Well, the context is what I wanted to ask you is that it is my understanding that there are two options essentially for humans right now. Well, perhaps three. One, don't ascend. Two, ascend in the traditional sense of things.
What is ascension to you?
Well, in the context of, for example, the writings of Ra, the channelings of Ra in the books that we know of here, there's an idea of an ascension where you your 51% or more service to others, or your 98% service to self. And you raise through many levels or aspects of ascension. And so that, to my understanding, that is a process, for example, that the Hathors are very well adept at and working to help humanity with. My understanding is that there is another path, there is another process that's going on, and refer to it as the light into life, this gathering of greater light energy in the physical body. Not, in other words, ascension is you leave the body. Ascension is you go beyond the body and your consciousness is fully in these other dimensions. Whereas my understanding of what we're doing now is a sort of ascension in the body, where we bring our full spirit being, our full consciousness, our full light body into the physical body, and they both are resonant at the same time. Is that a good way to explain the processes that are going on here?
In this moment, what does ascension mean to you? Not what does it mean to something else. What does it mean for yourself? Define what it is that you want to become. Now, this is something I am interested in.
And you have a name?
Oh, there's many different forms.
Do you prefer us to... Do you like to be called a name?
You are speaking with Gaia at the moment. At the very moment that you are asking about ascension and what it is that you want to be. What does ascension mean to you, my dear? What is that to you now? This moment. And what does it mean to be in this new age? Yes, you define things. Each of you define things by one age or another. And there are so many different ages. And so you are standing in one spot and then you're suddenly in another. You're in this day, in this moment, and then you was yesterday and tomorrow. What are you in this moment, my dear? What does ascension mean to you?
I wouldn't use that term.
Then what is it that
not for my goal
you
now.
would like to know?
I guess what I'm
There's a
trying to say
natural
is
flow.
you said that you're not clear that this is very interesting to you, that humans are now bringing more energy into the physical body, right? You said that earlier.
They are capable of bringing much energy into their body. It is a natural attribute of all things to bring energy within themselves. This is why you take on food, my dear. This is why you take water. This is sacred energy that you're bringing within yourself. So what is it you would like to enlighten your life with? What is it you would like to live? What is this life that you would like to embark on?
Well, for me right now, I'm working on this Project Felicity, which is a free energy system. And specifically, I'd love any help that you might be able to provide me and the team, the rest of the team, the Teslas, Earth Mother, Phineas, all the others that are working on this.
That are working on free energy?
Well, on Project Felicity specifically.
Do you feel that you are the type of person to want to hold this sort of energy within yourself, to be the advocate of such things as this being your great passion, your great work that you are embarking on in this particular life? This is what you want to do fully.
Yes.
Good. Then charge yourself with this and bring this forward. And you'll be honored in this particular way of you seeing this to come about. But know who you are. Yes, live light, tread lightly, live deeply on this earth. Live with your full intention intact. Know what it is clearly that you want to become, what it is that you want to fulfill in your life that brings most meaning into your life.
I would like for this to be a collaborative effort of humanity, one where no one's on top, no one's below. Everyone adds to the picture in their unique way, and we all derive benefit. The earth derives benefit. And the other, it's not just the free energy, the other intention of this project, of Felicity, is that she becomes a conduit for multidimensional communication as well. Another intention is that as this duality is, this field of duality is still present, that those who would want to control Felicity technology won't be able to, because they're not in the right frame of mind to be able to activate the device. So that basically the only people that can even use it are those that are of that collaborative teamwork kind of mentality. So the idea is that this technology is one that can't be abused, and it can't be manipulated and controlled by, say, for example, the oil companies all saying, oh, this is the next best thing, and we're just going to take it and run it, and we'll sell it to people for a very high price. Our intention is to be a non-profit company and propel this technology out to the world at the lowest possible cost so that everybody can derive benefit quicker.
Very good, and that is how much of the energy has been used over time, and that is how consciousness is being able to harness energy as well. These are the forms and these are the ways that can be harnessed, and also the same reasons why energy cannot be harnessed. It is only through the consciousness that it can be grounded, and yes, more energy forms have been grounded in many different ways and ways of being. It is some of these reasons that it has taken so long for certain forms of energy to come through. Now, it has been available in many different facets on this planet in earlier times, in great earlier ways. The energy was also manipulated wrongly, and it was misbalanced, and it kind of collapsed much of everything.
Atlantis.
Yes,
Yeah.
Atlantis is what we are most referring to, and is most in your cellular memory.
Oh, yeah. Very much so. So are there any specifics or directions or input or assistance that you'd like to provide to the project at this time?
Beware of the spinning of the energies. Look into the spinning of this energy. Not beware is the wrong word. Look into the spinning of the energy that is happening here. The influx and outflux of the energy itself. It is a form that is, you can also change in a sideways form as well. So you can have a dual sort of thing happening, which creates another form of energy. It may be something that you can change. Again, this would be something that we would say along the lines of 90-degree harmonics. The keeper is looking for a word that he doesn't understand. Two different forms of two toruses that are coming together more at a plus.
So could a vibrational frequency help with that? The sound?
being on the frequency of the earth itself can harmonize more energy, can bring more energy, because it is the plane of reality that you are on. So harmonizing with the same frequencies of the earth plane itself would create more energy, more efficiency of the energy.
And that could be done through using the elements on the planet because they hold that vibrational frequency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Many different elements hold a different sort of vibration of energies. You use some of these energies already with some of the quartz in your clocks. Some of the energies and crystals that are in your computers now are harnessing much of this energy, manipulating some of the energy, and also is being carried on sort of ways of energetics that are happening.
Are you also referring to the pyrite energy from the center of the Earth?
We are talking on many different forms of the same way that it is throughout your particular galaxy. You are on a grid system, and you are also on this earth that is harnessing its own energy in its own plane, its own existence, its own particular plane of reality. And so when you converge those two things together, you can create a lot of scenarios for its own free energy in the ways that can be used and manipulated.
Are you familiar with a structure that was built in Florida called Coral Castle?
The keeper is not familiar with this sort of thing.
It was a structure supposedly built by one man without any heavy equipment. Heavy blocks were cut and put into place through using a vibrational, moving it with vibration. Does that make any sense, or are you...
It makes sense to us, yes. It makes plenty of sense for us because it is vibration that you can move many of things. Now, vibrations are being put off all the time for different uses in different waves. Radio stations, you have figured out how to manipulate vibrations so that they are in harmonics with each other, like you have two antennas, one on the other, precisely put in a way that creates a resonancy throughout the whole area, that you have an equal effect that is happening in the waves of the energy of itself. Now, you can be using this energy in many different forms, and yes, these are some of the harmonics energy that we were talking about earlier, just in another form.
So combining some of the frequencies from the elements on this planet and even using coil spinning, you were talking about using the spinning. Does that create the vibration to create a greater energy?
The spinning action should occur naturally through the magnetics.
Mm-hmm.
It is when you are able to harness some of this spinning action of this energy that you are creating your own free energy. And some of the energy can be manipulated by spinning the magnets itself and creating this energetic way of doing this. This is a very normal form on this planet that you can create these energies. But these energies can also be harnessed in other facets and ways as well. And it also can be manipulated and enhanced to create a greater form of itself. Much of this is not fully understood right now, but it can be. As long as you are creating a very fastly speeded up version of the tube torus sort of energy, and you're creating another sort of energy next to it, and then a very equally on a 90-degree angle as well. You are creating a very fast and an energetic flow that is within itself, that is creating its own vibration, yes, but its own harmonics as well. And you are manipulating the energies in a very fast way.
So are you saying that you would suggest that we duplicate the existing rotating coil on Felicity with another one at a right angle to it?
We are not necessarily saying one thing or another, but we are giving some hints and ideas to certain things that could enhance such a way of form of this energy.
Is that similar to the basis in which our chakra system works?
Your chakra systems are working on a different form. It is a more of a straight up and down energy that is both grounding and very ungrounding. It basically brings you out and gets you in touch with the cosmos as well. It's what connects you and infinitely brings you within itself.
Do you have to have a clear vision to be able to create these forms of energy, new forms of energy? Do you have
Many
to
of these
know
forms of energy comes in certain structures that you must understand, yes, are sacred geometry in a way. Some of this is in your science as they are catching up to certain things and understanding energy and the forms that it can be used and harnessed in, but it all comes in natural. It is natural energy that is already around you, that as you understand how it is and how you are connected to it all and how the energy is created within itself, then you can understand the greater depths of where energy comes from.
So again, what is one of the most important components? Is it grounding the energy still?
Grounding the energy has to do with another form that we would say grounding enlightenment, bringing wisdom into your life, applying the wisdom in your life. Grounding the energy is a thought form becoming an action, becoming a thing.
Oh, I like that. Thank you. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Grounding the energy is what much of the plants here on this planet are doing all the time. They are grounding new cosmic energy down into this planet.
Photosynthesis.
Yes, photosynthesis. And you, each of you, are grounding your energy in your ways of your walk of life. As you are gathering information, you are bringing new belief systems about, you are creating a new energy within yourself, and you are seeing new ways to do certain things, and you're applying it to your life at a much more faster conscious rate than a photosynthesis sort of plant is even the greatest one. Because you are a more conscious being. You can handle more conscious. You are bringing this forward, and this is the leading edge of who you are to be able to experience it in this particular realm that you have chosen, each of you, all of you, to be here at this time to do. Now, this is why we say point your focus where you most want to intend it to be, to bring your light, to bring who you are forward, to bring the joy in your life. This energy is free. Yes. This energy is naturally, you are already tapping into this. It is what rejuvenates your body systems. It is what invigorates you when you have a passionate thought. You are charged with these energies. Your natural flow of who you are is not always what it is in your mind. It is through the emotions that you are feeling about things. And as you are being led through your life, as you gain great thought forms that are in harmony with your heart, then you start to see. You start to see what is possible with the energy that is around you already, and how you can apply it greatly in the great detail of your life. And it becomes a natural occurrence. You don't have to understand all the ways that it is structurally made and how it is. You are just, it is. You are walking the grace, becoming that which you want to be in all energy forms. And the energy forms of free energy will come naturally as these processes occur throughout this planet. So take a step with your life. Whether it is working on free energy and that is your passion, then take that step. If that is what it is that you would like to bring most into this world. But know that your heart naturally wants to be in concurrence with who you are. The abilities of what you are and who you are and all the things that you have become are on that other side of yourself. The self that you quite can't see in this particular realm that desperately wants to be a hold of each of you so that you can bring your piece of heaven here on this earth. That you can naturally bring this process about. Is one of the most interesting matters because it makes the most difference in this world. Walking in your own energy, in your own passion of your life. Making the most fulfilling, deeply, most loved way of living for your soul. And naturally you'll start to bring your own energy forms of who you are and why you came here. Each of you know, we are just trying to get you to remember this part of yourselves. Kids naturally are in touch with this as they are excited about certain things and they live in the moments of moments. And they are a little more tapped in, tuned in to some of this. We are trying to get you to allow yourself to enjoy life the way it is, being new and fresh again. And knowing that you also have something that you would like to experience out of life, for that is life itself, is living. Is truly living within that heart space that you have, that energy that you wanted to bring in, that light form that you want to display for everyone else. It is a harmonic way of living with all things, all creatures. You have such an array of colors and lives that you can experience for many lifetimes on this planet without getting tired. Know what it is, because you live in such a small moments of time. Harness this energy and you will really become something. It is already happening, and we are already commending you on a job well done. The fact that each of you are sitting here is something. You are realizing yourselves. You are remembering this.
Is there a specific exercise or something that we can follow that will help or to pacify some moments? There's a thing we call patience that we sometimes run out of when we're following our heart and things aren't going the way we would like, and it's very difficult sometimes, as you well know, to follow your heart for a duration. Is there an exercise in which we can practice to increase that vibration of patience? Or
well, we would say there's many different forms that we would say. The motivation that you would like to do certain things is very easily encouraged, but the focus isn't usually there and held for very long for multiple reasons. We would say in many different levels there are fear aspects that stop people. They don't want to make mistakes. They fear the mistakes. They fear of what it is that they look in front of other people and how they should be in society that makes them the way they are. They are trying to harmonize with each other all the time, but never really truly harmonizing within themselves what it is that they could be doing in each of the moments. If they had not the fear, the conditioning of the certain ways of being in society, they were just themselves as a child would be. We would say, look at yourself in that way, in that light. And it is not very easily done all the time because you are in front of your boss, someone that could be giving you money, your clients. But we say, yes, go out, make those mistakes, be yourself, and you'll stand much more in your power when you do these things. You'll be in more harmonic resonance with yourself. And you'll be approaching these situations with a different look, with the eyes of Source, not the eyes of, how is this person really hurting me? Why is this situation not feeling good? You will look within yourself and see why you are feeling these things, why you are having such perspectives on these things. It is internalizing your belief systems and truly understanding who you are and why you are walking a path that you are doing. Then you can begin to change those belief systems and begin to walk a new path for yourself. So look at how you are first and how you are conditioned to think. And get in touch with yourself. Be more of yourself. Yes, you may have people that are suddenly looking at you differently. But they might actually notice more of a smile on your face.
They might not like you.
They may not like you, but they will see something normal. And that is another thing we will bring up here. There are many different keys on this piano of different vibrations that you each are. And so some of you are going to be a slightly different frequency, which has a different tone, which doesn't sound so good next to someone else.
Oh, yeah.
But each key is important to create a beautiful orchestra, and each one supports each other in a great symphony. You are looking in the eyes of another God, another creator, another piece of divine light. And each of you have your own piece of light, and you are going to bump into each other along these ways. We ask you to treat each other with great respect and nurture each other whenever you have this chance. You're looking into the eyes of Source many times, and you are seeing a reflection of yourselves. And notice how you are able to harmonize with the other creators around you.
Well, I have to say one thing. Thank you for who you are, and I know that joy is within us, but you bring a great deal of joy.
But we appreciate being here, having this opportunity to express ourselves, bring these ideas through your groups of people, having these conversations which are very interesting to us. We always think, yes, very interesting indeed.
Do you do anything with these conversations? I mean, like you go send them somewhere else?
We are
Spread
just
them out
simply
throughout
understanding you better. We are understanding what is happening in these moments and seeing what you are doing with the information afterwards. We are watching each of you as we are approaching these things.
Is that solely your intent in coming here? Is to understand what's happening here?
It is not solely our intent to
What are your
understand,
other intents?
to bring about new ideas for new ways of living for yourselves, to bring in hopefully a new perspective on your own lives that would hopefully enhance your life, to bring in new ideas that you may understand and ground in your own ways and facets of being, to simply associate ourselves with you and humanity.
Don't you think we're pretty cool? I mean, like, we're cool friends.
Wasn't a thought that we have particularly thought is a cool thing. But we have many different expressions in this language. Yes, we think this is a pretty cool group of friends. We are learning how to be humans, and you are pretending to be humans.
Do you get to enjoy laughter like we do?
Oh yes,
Yes.
laughter is a much greater thing here because it has more energy with the patterns of laughter, and it carries a little bit more of a frequency. It is more heard and felt.
Well, that's kind of the difference between what you bring and what the Syrians bring, right? I mean, the two words come from serious and play, right? That's the way I've always thought of it. Are you guys friends now, or are you still not so happy with them?
No, we are. It is not the same. There's no rank and serial number here. There are simply different vibrations that are all throughout the cosmos, and we
No,
are
I mean
a
you and the
collective.
Syrians specifically.
We are into all beings. All beings. All beings are not black and white and polarized as we use many others would see it as. We see all things in a certain light, in a certain way. It is not the good, bad, and the ugly.
Right.
It is.
That's being out of duality.
That's right.
I have kind of an off-topic question. There have been a couple times that a question has been asked and you say the keeper isn't familiar with that. Why is that important?
He's searching for words to say. He's getting very nervous about the questions. He's not sure of what it is that he hasn't even heard much of the news. He doesn't even watch it.
Good for him.
So he's very unfamiliar with much of what is happening, but at the same time he is present and here. And we simply say because he is searching for ways of answering a question, and it is through the language that this barrier seems to be somewhat of a hindrance for him. But we understand things on a much greater detail than he does, and that is why that we come present, and why he's also not so fearful of coming here today.
Right. Well, don't you think he's doing a great job?
He's holding the energies quite well, we would say.
He's not cool.
He's all right in our book.
You can use that word at the dinner table tonight.
Do you have physical bodies similar to ours?
Not in the same ways as you. No, they are more of energetic bodies. They're an ethereal form bodies. They are more of what you call a spiritual template, a lucid form bodies. Most of us have these sort of bodies. Not all, but most.
So are there some Pleiadians with actual physical bodies?
Yes. They can become physical as they become more dense. This is not something they prefer, though. Not in the ways that you would see. And not quite the same as the physical density as you have here on this planet.
So the energy that runs your body, have you ever, like we partake of and eat food and drink water, that's one of the ways that energizes our body. Is that something that you use?
No, we feed on light.
Ah.
Is there a lot of light out there?
An infinite supply.
Free energy.
Good, free energy.
Exactly.
In my understanding, the more aware we become, the more we raise our own vibrational energy. As the energy shifts, those who are unaware are in their own little world, and as the energy shifts on this planet, will they begin to become aware? Will their energy raise without them?
That is
making an
exactly
effort?
what's happening on this planet. as there is a bandwidth that is happening. And it was what is understood on this end here, as it moves up, it also brings the bottom up as well. The bottomless energy that does not quite understand, is not open to much of this, they are opening up just a little bit more. And the top cannot move without the bottom. Many times there is a great destruction and much of the energy is wiped out so that there's room for greater expansion. But what is happening on this plane of reality is the whole bandwidth is moving quickly, very well together. And there hasn't been a great destruction of vibrations that are not quite getting it. It's very interesting to us to see such a thing. Very interesting indeed.
So you said something like, there has been an incident that some tragedy happened, and then because of that, some structure in ourselves changes. Is it compared to something what happened to, like in Japan, for example, the earthquake happened, and the tsunami happened, and all this tragedy happened. And then, on one hand, it is tragic, but on the other hand, it brings such a compassion. So did it happen for that reason, or did we attract that to happen, or how does this thing, happen, or how do we understand a thing like this?
With what happened in Japan, in Chile, and other places of the world, it was an energy shift that has happened in the physical form of the earth body itself. And Japan gave a great gift to humanity in a great way, because through this new shift of energy, it created a new reality, a new wobble. A new light is being formed already. A new timing is formed on this earth. And so through the great tragedy, it was also a great gift that they gifted the world in a great way. And we weren't sure whether the whole parts of Japan would go all together under the water. What has happened is actually very significant, for there wasn't as great as destruction as we had thought, anticipated. And so there was a change of the patterning of the world itself, of time being compressed. The new wobble, even though it seems very insignificant, is very significant because there are new light that is here now because of this particular instance. More shifts are going to happen throughout the earth. It is part of the changes of understanding this. And yes, there are right now, you're dealing with water distribution, and it is happening quite well as well. Although there are some droughts, yes, and other places that are flooding. There's usually always too much of water or less of water. And so the water, as the shift has slightly changed, and the planet is a globe, and if you can imagine a little bit of water, the density is more towards the middle, and now that the middle has shifted a bit, there is great changes that are happening. These changes are probably going to continue for another 2 to 4 years as things are settling out and the new adjustments are being made. And so Japan, yes, had a great tragedy. And as great tragedies happen, it is a way that people are understanding themselves. And yes, there was that Fukushima incident that was happening as well. They're redefining what is safe to have around as energy forms are being met and looked at, redefined as structures are looked at.
So is any of this a direct cause of any of the gamma ray bursts that we get from time to time?
Many of the gamma ray bursts that are coming from the sun and other forms of energies that are throughout the galaxies that are also influencing this have been toned down to some degree. But this wave of energy is all going to pass through humanity, as it has been very rapidly. That is why energy changes are happening very fast, as you see in relationships breaking up quickly now as before. It used to be very stable, as people are changing jobs very quickly, as they are starting to follow different things because they are having more ideas, they're having more energetics interference within themselves, but not in the same way as you would see it as a fearful thing, but as a good thing, because they are redefining their belief systems, who they are, what they want to be, their careers, everything. It is redefining within themselves. And so this is happening on somewhat of a chaotic experience, but it's also a natural experience to have this. Now, what is happening here that is so different is the chaotic experiences are not so strong.
So again, does that have to do with collective vibration?
Yes. It has
Collective conscious that creates that vibration.
Yes.
So this week we're going to have a collective consciousness, at least in the United States, if not in the world, of a political
Election and outcome from an election.
There is a whole bunch of energy going toward this focus. Is that going to
Shift anything?
Yeah.
Well, with these things, it is your particular game that you are playing.
Exactly.
If you don't play it.
Right. It's where you are putting your focus and intentions.
Uh-huh.
Can we just let it go and let it unfold in its own?
Absolutely. What do you mean can't?
I'm just
What are you asking permission?
saying, please, can I please just let
Can I
it
check out?
happen?
Can I not participate?
Do I need to vote? Well, I will vote anyway because I think it's.
There are an array of many different distractions that are happening all throughout your lives. But do place your focus where it matters most to you, where you get the most fulfillment in your life, where you feel the most amount of bliss and joy.
Yeah.
Have to tell you once again, thank you so much for who you are and what you bring to not just this group, but this is touching a lot of people.
Well, it is our intention to hopefully distill some great inner understandings that you already know and to help you make those connections within yourself. It is with great joy that we are here and have been a part of this meeting today, and with much love we bid you farewell.
Thank you.
Thank you.